Hey everyone, it's Joel from the Fun Pimps, and today we are going to talk about Fortitude. So Fortitude is kind of a measure of your overall health, and investing into this attribute, you're going to get 10 more hit points per rank, all the way up to 200 max health. And I'm not sure what this other stuff does. We're still talking about that. So this, in theory, is going to allow you to drink more water or have a bigger gas tank of water, so to speak. But we still need to localize and finalize these things. But then heavy armor. Let's see. Heavy armor is going to increase your armor rating by 10% per tier. So we've got light and heavy armor. Light armor is under agility. But heavy armor falls under the Fortitude perk. And you'll be able to increase your armor rating and improve your durability by some pretty significant amounts by the time you get the 5th tier. Insult to injury, you're going to gain 5% damage resistance, 10, so on and so forth. And then at rank 3, it gets a little more interesting, and every minute you have a 2% chance to shrug off an injury. So let's say you have a broken bone. Every 2 minutes you're going to have a small dice roll to just kind of like, hey, that's feeling better now. So, and then that increases up to 10%, which is pretty good. So, getting rid of an injuries before its time is expired is always a good, kind of a nice little random perk there. So, Intrinsic Immunity, what this does is it increases your damage resistance, or sorry, disease resistance. So, you're less chance from getting infected by a zombie, all the way up to 80%. So this one's pretty nice. And every minute you have a chance to shrug off an illness. So let's say you are sick. You've got an increasing chance to shake those illnesses off, just kind of like similar to insult to injury. So, well insulated. This one is for, the hot and cold weather survival. So, say you don't have enough clothing to, fight off the elements, invest into this perk, and you're just going to naturally have more insulation, to help you fight the cold. And some extreme colds, you might need this. You might need at least a few of these and some of the best gear to combat some of the worst elements in the game. So we're still balancing it and working it out, but, we'll see how this fits in. But, yeah, it should be pretty cool. Living off the land, you're going to harvest more resources from animals, and full-grown crops are going to yield, 2 more items at harvest. So we're doing away with fertilizer, and, I know you people are going to be sad to hear that turds are going to be removed from the game. It was okay. It was the only way we could do it. But now that we've got this new elite buff and XML driven attribute and perk system, a lot of the more ideas that we've always wanted to do are now possible. So I'm not going to get into this a lot, but we've done a lot of new framework changes for this build, and that's why it's taken so long. Framework's no fun to work on, but the end result is, when the framework's done, you can add tons of new content super fast, super easy, and there's no problems. So it's like now we've got a good buff framework and a good skill system, attributes, and buffs is about any kind of gameplay you can imagine. So we're really excited to be working with this. It's taken us longer, but we've got a vehicle framework, and that allows us to add new vehicles relatively easy compared to the old system. All we have is a mini bike. But anyway, enough of that. But so this perk, you're going to get more resources from animals and plants, and be able to farm better. So that's going to be a good one to have if you're hurting for food. And so far I've been testing Alpha 17, and food is kind of an issue. So I might be investing into this perk myself. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, early game, wow, looking for food. It's not, you know, you shoot a deer and it runs off, and wolves are probably too powerful to try and take on, so it's like, you know, scrounging food. One of the coolest aspects, I don't mean to get sidetracked, but one more real quick thing. One of the cool aspects now is we have open and Ajar versions for cupboards that are empty. So anytime you see a cupboard that is closed, it's going to have loot in it. So there's no more of this opening up a drawer and then you got nothing and having to search 20 cabinets to get your loot. You know, they're already open, if you know, and then the full ones have stuff in them. So it's a real nice polished thing that we've done. I really like it. Pain tolerance, you're going to reduce your hit points by 5%. Basically, you're going to take less damage. It's like having armor, but without wearing any armor, and it stacks with armor, so it's a pretty nice a guy. And then you get a less chance to be stunned, and all the way up to the Iron Chin with no chance to get stunned. So if you're a tank and you want to get in there with a club and just wreck shit, this is the one for you. Recovery perks, we've got healing factor. This is going to increase, you know, your natural healing rate. So this bar is going to fill up even without meds a little faster with these perks, and there's several tiers to that. And your maximum. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And then we've got fully hydrated. This is going to reduce your water loss by 10%. Gain 20% more hydration from beverages, so you're going to get a little more out of every drop, which is pretty handy if you're, you know, short on stuff. So, you know, if the water survival's too rough for your taste, you can invest into this perk and get a little more out of it, you know. And this is going to prevent you from losing water, which is something that happens quite a bit as you burn, you know, like calories. These bars are calorie driven, so you know, it takes health, you know, food to replenish your lost energy after you do a lot of running and sprinting around. This black bar it's stuck, and until I eat some food, you know, it's not coming back. So you have to eat food to restore your energy. So there's a lot of calories, and then water governs, you know, how fast these bars can fill. So if you're dehydrated and you're low on water, that, you know, you might want to get into this one. And then slow metabolism, it's kind of the same. You're going to reduce your food loss by 10% all the way up to, no, these are wrong, it's probably going to go up to 50%, and get more, you know, each meal is a little more filling, you know, as these perks. These are messed up here. I'll have to fix that. So just some localization errors. And then self-medicated. Drugs are going to dehydrate you less, and you know, have less chance for withdrawal symptoms. And then drugs will be more effective, and then it just kind of keeps going up all the way up to, you know, you have no chance to develop withdrawal symptoms. Dehydration effects are 90% less, and you know, drugs are more effective. So any of the drugs and stuff in the game, you're gonna if you end up being one of those guys who's taking a lot of that stuff, you're gonna want to invest into these, so you don't have to go through, you know, a ton of water, because the drugs are going to dehydrate you and stuff like that. So that's all I've got. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with the last tribute video.